Hello everyone, welcome back to Seasoned Professional. Today's episode is just me. It is a solo with just me. I'm Hannah Octavia, a 20-something exploring the question, how do people really figure out their careers, their goals, and their lives? This is a podcast about stories worth sharing, the wins, the setbacks, and everything in between. My hopes is that each episode leaves you inspired, motivated, and reminded that every story is different, and that's what makes it beautiful. I did just come off the back of recording with a very exciting guest that will be coming out on May 12th. So please do keep an eye out for that. It is a fellow entrepreneur, someone kind of new to the space. I just feel like my brain is like kind of on fire after that. And after, working all day and then coming home and doing that. It's funny whenever I am like, oh, I worked all day. It's like it's something different and unique. It's like, Hannah, everyone works all day. Stop thinking that you're special for doing that. It's not anything special. Anyways, but yeah, just a lot of really exciting stuff has been happening. So I thought, I would take this opportunity when I don't have a episode lined up to come on here and just say thank you. First of all, thank you for everyone who has been here so far, who has liked, who has commented, who has shared, who has even like taken time out of their day to simply like read a description or, maybe click on one of my guests' Instagram pages, maybe even follow them. Like, it truly means the world to me. And as much as I am happy doing this for free and for doing all these things, I think as an entrepreneur, as someone with a small business, like you do want to see results from it. And it's just been so rewarding seeing the comments and seeing the feedback and seeing the actual like stats of what's coming in. This past month, I've hit 500 downloads in the month, which is honestly, quite frankly, unbelievable. And to some people that number is literally nothing. But to me, at the beginning of all this, I would get maybe 3 people listening, and that was my mom, my dad, and then maybe some random. And now that I have, a community of 500 people that are coming and listening to an episode that I release is truly something magical. I don't often take the time to kind of like reflect on what I've done. I'm normally too busy like creating content or, kind of stuck in that spiral of editing and being sucked into the world of Premiere Pro, or I am kind of in the cycle of not self-hatred so much, but sometimes I get into that like comparison cycle of like, oh, I should be further along. I should be this, I should be that. And I often don't actually look at like, wait a second, like actually look at what you've done, because a lot of people haven't done this. And I think it's not necessarily about like comparing to what other people have or haven't done, but it's more about taking the time to be like, wait, you've done this. Like you've put in the hours and you have accomplished something. And whether that be, for my listeners, whether that's be, you've accomplished a certain goal, you've started a business, you've accomplished a financial thing, you've accomplished school, like whatever that thing is, I think we often don't take the time to like sit in it and be proud of it. And that is what I have done this past week, is I have really taken the time to be proud of it. And it's just truly incredible. And of course, I will acknowledge that this spike in views, the spike in downloads, the spike in engagement, this past month, I've had 140,000 people engage with my Instagram. And these are numbers that I truly like blow me away. And for someone with a very small Instagram feed, I've seen so much growth in the past 10 days or so. And it is truly thanks to my episode with Charlie Follows. And it's one of the things that have been a real privilege about speaking to people from all over the world, from, different industries and different things like that, is I have been exposed to their community. And the yoga community Charlie follows is a YouTube yoga teacher. Please go listen. She has some amazing advice. The yoga community is so supportive, so kind, so intentional with their words. And I really feel like I've just been enveloped by them. And, Charlie does have a substantial community online. She has over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. She has 250,000 plus Instagram followers. She's established herself, and she's worked many, many years to build this very strong foundation for her business. And it's something that I really, really look up to as someone who's in the process of establishing something for herself. So I do want to say that, the 500 downloads, the engagements, the comments, it was not done just by myself. It was done thanks to the people that I have been so grateful to interview. And, as a small business, I guess that's what I'm calling myself now. Kind of have to fake it till you make it. But anyways, as a small business is what I will call myself. It's so beautiful that someone of that prestige is taking the time to I don't know, it's almost like they're taking a chance on you, And I think everyone, if they look back at their life, you can probably pinpoint the person that took a chance on you. And, perhaps you realized at the time, perhaps you've only realized it, through reflecting on your life. But, you have been the change in someone else's life. And I think coming off the back of, that conversation with Charlie, I think that's something that I'm going to continue going forward, and kind of having that idea that I one day could be the change in someone else's life. I could be the person that says, hey, I'm going to take a chance on you. And who knows, maybe 10 years in the future, someone will be talking about me this way. And I think it just reinforces the fact that everyone's just trying to figure out this freaking thing. Everyone's just trying to figure out their lives. Everyone's just trying to figure out their careers and what's meant for them. And I think if we are more open to taking chances on people and, where possible, giving time. And, in many ways, I felt like our conversation was mentorship. And now, oh, Charlie, I hope if you're listening to this, you don't feel like I'm absolutely obsessed with you, even though part of me kind of is, because you're really cool and you've accomplished so much. But I don't want this to sound like some sort of strange, I don't even know. But I hope you understand what I'm trying to say and the appreciation that I have, because I really, no other words could tell how much I appreciated that. And I just wanted to kind of have this episode up, I guess, as kind of that look, Hannah, you did it. We're building momentum. Things are happening. And yeah, that is my thoughts. We are not on this podcast yet, though. And I do want to talk about one other thing before I let you guys go for the week. And that is when you start seeing momentum, like I've seen this past, few weeks, you feel this unbelievable pressure to ride the wave. So it feels like with the Charlie Follows episode, I had a lot of kind of increase in downloads from the Max Romy episode. Again, I will link it down below. I felt this almost like you kind of see the wave coming. Like if you were a surfer, let's say, you kind of see the wave coming and it's building slowly. And then you want to catch that wave, like everything inside of you wants to catch that wave, and you want to ride it to shore, and you want to ride all the opportunities that are going to come. And I feel like with the engagement that I'm seeing, like I need to jump on this. I need to ride this wave. And, a lot of entrepreneurs do speak about this and like kind of really putting your all into that momentum. But I think that, and I'm such a downer, I suppose, but I feel so much pressure to ride that wave. And then I look around at the reality of my life and I have to remind myself that this podcast is a side hustle at the moment. And it is not my full-time job. And riding that wave can be really, really hard when you are trying to juggle work, a side hustle, a love life, friendships, family. It is a lot. And I think I've almost had to give myself permission I'm going to ride this wave as best I can, but I also can't give it my all right now. And one day I hope that I can give it my all, but right now there's just so much else that is dividing my attention that it's hard. It's hard to do all the things, and it's something that I don't hear a lot of people talk about. Like I so wish that I could just ride the momentum and be producing content all the time and interviewing all the time. And I wish this could be my life. I really, really do. And I'm working towards, who knows what I'm working towards? Who knows what my goals are? Well, I know what my goals are going to be, but I'm working towards something. But there's this other side of reality. And if you are also, perhaps you're in a similar place in your life right now, and you are feeling the momentum of things starting to happen, but everything else is also happening at the same time, just give yourself the grace. Give yourself grace in knowing that you are doing your absolute best. And sometimes that's all we can give. And I hope that makes sense. I really, really do. I hope this is, finding the people that need to hear this right now. And just reminding you that just because you miss this wave of momentum, I have this fear that it's never going to happen again. And it's ridiculous because, even though this has been my biggest momentum shift so far, it doesn't mean it's been my only one. So it's kind of just reminding myself, you almost need to hold yourself back. You don't want to get ahead of yourself and, run down this path, completely burn yourself out. And then where are you left? Where are you left? Anywho, I hope you enjoyed my blabbering on for the past 15 minutes. I think I'm probably going to wrap up right around here. And just once again, thank you for all the support, all the love. If you are not following yet, perhaps now would be a good time to press that follow button or the subscribe button or whatever platform you're on. And I'm just sending you so much love. One of the things we talked about in the conversation that I just had with Maggie, we spoke about just pouring out lots of love. And I think that's what we need to do. I just need to pour out lots of love. I need to not meet things with, anger or negativity. It's just love, and everyone deserves to be loved. Everyone deserves to feel loved. And yeah, I love all you guys. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you all next week.
Why is this so hard? Be a functioning